are sometime crude and sometime ass. With his wife of 15 years, that is always having his back. Even when his dogs and cats are being a pain in the ass, he hopes this will always last. Even bring the fun to the masses, rolling and toiling and beating every dungeon classes. With his goofy faces and voice all over the places, he hopes to never give up on his dreams to bring joy. And even the facts with his last podcast every week, and stream with his friends to bring that energy like big.
In 90 hours the past 2 weeks. I'm tired.
90 hours overtime?
No, I've done 90 hours. I've done 10 hours of overtime.
Oh, okay. Well, it'd be a good paycheck for when you go on your little horror fest at
The
university.
whole reason I'm doing the overtime. I'm going to do it for 2 more weeks and then fuck them.
All right, this is the Bear Thoughts Podcast. We do this every Friday, usually at 5 o'clock just at a time. For those who are here, welcome. I do appreciate it. For those who want to be here, we start around Central Standard Time. Be in the chat, join us, and as always, hit the like and subscribe button if you want to keep on seeing more of these. We have a few things to talk about today, and I had some few thoughts because I saw some things online this week, and I'm going, that's an interesting little information or thought pattern to come about. So we're gonna start with some light stuff today, and then later in the podcast we're gonna get into a little bit more heavier stuff because some things happened at places that we like going or like to go to, and we don't know exactly how to feel about it, but we have some speculations, and I had some personal gripes with some people's attitudes and way they handled it afterwards, because y'all know me, I don't stand for certain people's stupidity. So this week we're gonna start off with the first thing. Corvo had an interesting thought, and I don't quite know because he's been explaining to me the anime category, new people. Explain it to me because I try to read it. I'm like trying to figure out the thought pattern.
Here's what I mean. So let's say you have a person trying to get into anime, right?
Trying to get to it first time. All right.
You're trying to get into it. You're trying to recommend an anime for them. Now, you usually run into one of two cases. One, they want you to recommend something based on off of what you perceive their personality to be.
Okay.
Or, sounds good by the way. Or you have them where they want to give you, hey, this is the kind of genre I usually watch in my media.
All right.
Recommend something from there. So the question is, how do you or us or anybody as anime watchers battle with that? And the reason the question come up is because I actually had this happen to me this week. And sometimes the problem is that you might have an inkling of what kind of person they are, or they may tell you what kind of genre they like, but you know as well as I do, just because you like horror or sci-fi or comedy in other media formats doesn't mean that's what's going to do it for you in anime.
Okay.
And just because you have someone that has the personality that they're strong and athletic doesn't mean they want to watch an anime about a muscle-bound hero, you know?
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'd love to hear from chat. For those who are in the channel, the question pretty much boils down to, how do you introduce someone new to anime that is only based on the personality or what they give them themselves? Let's say, of course, Corvo, let's say they're a football player. How do you introduce somebody as a football player into an anime? Which anime would you recommend? If they were a person that's nurturing and kind and maybe a little romantic, which one would you recommend there? That's what we're asking here, is how do we base an anime off a person's personality and what they may be interested in to that? Or do you only base it off genres they have looked at in the past? Now, if anybody does not know, anime has been out since the early 80s, but hell, probably early 90s. It's been out for a long time. Technically, the first anime was done during World War II, and it was found in the wreckage of a building that was destroyed. And that was technically the first very ever anime. But so the easiest one you would always would say for me is, okay, do you have a genre? Because you could find someone out there that's loving, that's sweet, that's kind.
I like to ask, what do they normally look for anime, and what drew them into the ones they like already?
Yeah, okay. If they have animes they already liked already, honey. But just because they're nurturing, kind, and bubbly, they might go home and become like this emo goth chick that loves horror and screaming and bloodshed. You don't really quite know who they are at their separate place, because they might show you one personality, but at home they are like the complete opposite, because that's what they can let loose. But then it would have to boil down to a genre, right?
But see, then you run into the situation where, and this has happened to me in the past, where they're like, oh, I'm in the sci-fi, that's my big genre, right?
Yeah.
But you recommend sci-fi, and yeah, they're okay with it, but like 3 or 4 months later, they find some comedy, and they hate comedy everywhere else, but for some reason, that shit really does it in anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my wife.
And so you're like, how do you accurately get as close to what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because then
go ahead.
This person watches sci-fi on everything else, but prefers comedy when it comes to anime.
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
Sci-fi and anime, comedy, that's what they want. So it's like, okay, that is not remotely the same.
Yeah.
Okay?
So my wife, she loves horror movies and horror things like you. She loves it, absolutely love it. But when it comes to anime, her number one choice, slice of life. For some reason she likes slice of life, romance, charming, like almost wholesome, with characters that maybe have a little bit like I said, a pocket diary. A little bit like snarky, a little bit bitchy. She loves a pocket diary. She loves Taiga. She loves I don't have many friends club. She loves like slice of life like that, and all of them are different, but slice of life are her thing. And I'm like, how do you go from I want to watch people get killed and murdered and gore and suspense to charming and loving and almost wholesome? It's like, that's two different things. You can't tell me you like this, but then you really. I think it's just because it's the medium, maybe. Like Japan's culture, because you gotta realize it's always still based on Japan's culture, right? No matter what it is, it's their culture, or Korean, or some now are coming to Chinese. And their sense of humor when it comes to comedy might hit us for other people, because they're very much a slapstick. They're not about timing. They're slapstick comedy. And some people out there just love a good someone get smacked. It's just like something about that just really gets them going. And I'm going, I don't get it. Like, that was not good humor or good timing. It was just kind of like this out of the blue. Like, sporadic.
For me, my problem is that I like a lot of different type of media.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that when I watch anime, I watch action, I watch sci-fi, I watch horror anime. Occasionally I'll find a comedy anime that I like. I watch all that. But that lines up with my previous interests, right?
Yes.
But when I get a little frazzled when someone's like, oh, well, all I watch are comedies on television and movies, but I watch death and destruction in anime. And you're like, the fuck? Okay.
Maybe.
So Angels of Death you watch in anime, but you watch Robin Williams and Flubber on television. I'm confused.
Maybe it's the form of media, because like when people watch anime, they harker their minds back to cartoons, and they harker their minds back to the idea this is not reality. So they have a form of disbelief or dispense from what's happening in the anime. But in like live action actors, they can give themselves into this could be reality, this could be a thing,
Said.
and they harken
I
their
find
mind.
a lot of the horror animes to be really cheesy. Horror movies hit different than anime, and I find sometimes I need to watch anything with a good storyline.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. But like it could just give your mind a bit of foundation or anchor to really get onto. So like my wife, like I said, she likes horrors, but that has to be live action horrors. She can't very much watch horrors in anime except for Angels of Death. She loves Angels of Death, but that's the only horror anime she watches. Everything else is like slice of life. So
Right.
so it's like but maybe she just has a more of an attachment to the slice of life aspect when it comes to scare, because it gives you more of a grasp of reality, while the cartoon gives you escape from that reality.
I don't know.
I'll be
But,
like, okay, what is your genre?
I have, now, I want to. This will make you laugh a little bit. So this person
Mhm.
literally said, "I like watching sci-fi and I like watching horror. Give me an anime around that." Now, I'm gonna give my answer.
Okay.
I want you to think. First thing that popped in my mind: King's Game.
King's Game. It's not a bad one. It's not. It just,
It's suspenseful.
yeah.
It's a little sci-fi because of the phone aspect, and it's definitely fucking horror when people start dying.
Yeah. It problem is it's not not fully adapted into the aspect of like a lot of people know about it. It's a little obscured.
Uh-huh.
And because it's obscured, it's not that popular. Not that it's bad, it's
Right.
not that popular. So
Right, I love it.
yeah. I think it was good. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't just good, right? Because it's not my thing. But if it was my thing, I might have loved it more, right?
So then he asked for one more. You should know what my second answer was because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the one where it fucks with your head. And that might not be
Another.
a good one.
Another.
Yeah.
I gave him another, and he's like, "Well, which one should I watch first?" I said, "Watch King's Game first, because when you watch another, you're gonna have to sit and woosah a minute, understand what you just took off."
See, that might be good for someone. I'm not saying the person that you were talking to it was not intellectual. I'm not intellectual either, but I already knew. I was already going into it knowing.
Banana Fish anime will really mess you up.
I just lost. We just lost stream. Give me a second here. Okay, hopefully we're back here in just a couple of seconds because I lost stream. Okay, we are back. All right. So, what was I saying? Yeah, intellectual. But I knew what I was going into, and I watched another because you told me about it, right? So I had a prerequisite to what I was having to do while watching it. You might have warned them too. You did kind of. But when I have people, for me, and I have someone first watch anime, it has to be something almost brain dead simple. And I say brain dead simple, there's almost no real thinking other than just purely just being a part of the story's adventure. And some people just don't turn on their brain when they're watching television.
You have to understand, this person is young and stupid intelligent.
Stupid intelligent. Okay.
So if you give them something that's
brain dead,
brain dead, they're going to get up and walk away. Because their brain's always engaged. It kind of remind me of somebody else I know.
Okay.
But brain's always engaged.
See, for me,
Well,
if you were
we're talking about when you're recommending stuff to certain people, if you really want their interest, if they're the kind of person that brain is always engaged, you can't give them something that's supposed to be mind-numbing because they'll get tired of it and fuck and walk off.
Not always, but yes.
See,
Mind-numbing is good.
yeah, I said mind-numbing in a good sense, but I get where you're coming from. For me, you told me the horrors. I would have said Angel of Death because I know that my wife loves that, right? That would have been my choice. Because I'm like, okay,
Yeah, but that's fine. That's not mind numbing either, especially about midway to the end. It gets really fucking twisted.
Yeah. And of course, my sci-fi would have been the easiest one for me of all. I would have done Outlaw Star. It's a classic. It has an easy story. It has very much sci-fi. The whole thing's based on stars and space and galaxies and stuff like that. But it would a bit of fantasy to it. But not everybody would have been interested in that art style or that storytelling of that genre or that generation.
Right. Right.
But like I was going to say before, I would have gave him without, like, let's say purely based on personalities and not based on genres. I would have gave him that would have been like, okay, mood anime. You know what I'm talking about when I say mood anime?
Yeah.
I would have gave him mood anime because I know it's not always based on the storytelling or format. It's based on someone's mood. Because if I'm in a sad mood, I don't want to watch something that makes me sad. I want something to cheer me up a little bit. If I'm in a energetic mood maybe, or like, a fighting mood, I just want some like inspiration, I might watch me a fighting anime. If I like cooking or I'm just hungry, I might watch me an anime about food.
See, that's the difference in me and you a little bit. So, like, I agree with you. If I'm in like a little bit of a, hey, I want to see some Duke 'em out, I'll watch a fighting anime. I agree with that. But if I'm in a bad mood, I want to watch death and destruction. I want to see motherfuckers. I want to see them suffer. Because in my mind, I'm suffering because I am pissed. You know what I mean? So, bitch, you got to suffer too. You knew that was going to be what I said. That's why you're laughing. So, and in all fairness, guys, I'll be honest. Sometimes I have to be careful, especially if I'm DMing something, that if I'm in a bad mood, to remember that it's not their fault.
Yeah. We all have those moments. But yeah, it's always gonna really boil down to really, like, I think anyone could watch almost any anime, as long as it has good storytelling, good characters, and find themselves. Like, I watched the anime Clan, CLAN. The whole thing is a horror. The whole thing's twisted as, I mean, it is definitely one of the most stuffed animes I've ever watched. And I watched it all of it.
Go ahead.
I wish I didn't. But I can see why people like it.
You know what my favorite thing in the world to do to somebody is? I love doing this. And you'll get it when I say it. So you always got that one person in the crowd that thinks they're the smartest motherfucker ever. That they can figure out anything, before the show ends. There's no way you can hide it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do?
What?
Go watch Ergo Proxy. Watch Ergo Proxy.
That was pretty twisted, yes. Oh,
because by the time you realize what is actually happening, the shit's over with.
Yeah.
Because you get like bits and pieces of the story, and they'll reveal something, and then two episodes later, it's like, nah, that was a smoke screen. This is what's going on, and it all makes sense all the way to the end when even the changes. And then right at the end, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, it misdirects you a lot. It jumps you forward a lot, but then back. It's like, whoa, don't do that. It's like, no,
and now I will tell you a live action sci-fi movie that'll do that shit to you.
No.
Pandorum. Yeah, I think I've seen that commercial.
I will promise you, up until the last 10 to 5 minutes of that movie, you will be 100% convinced you know exactly what the fuck is going on, and it all makes sense, and it does make sense.
Uh-huh.
And then you realize that's not what the fuck's going on, and then when you find out what's going on, you're like, damn, that makes sense too. How the fuck did I miss that?
Yeah.
Ew.
So yeah, I think, like, okay, for an example, that when my mom, I tried to get into anime several times, and I made some poor choices. And like, for instance, I try to have her watch, cause she's a bit of a romance person. I know she is. I try to get her to watch Dang it, what's the name of well, I actually made it watch movies first, and I forgot there was an actual anime of it. That's where I messed up at. It's on the tip of my tongue. Violent Evergreen. Evergarden, sorry.
Oh.
Violet Evergarden.
Violet Evergarden?
Yes.
You gave her that?
Yeah, it's a real sweet. It's really sweet. The last movie made me bawl my eyes out.
It is very sweet, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
It is complicated, you know it is.
But I was like, okay, my mom should be able to keep up with this kind of story. Yeah, she was like asking me questions left, right, and center. I'm like, Mom, just watch.
So I had
Pay
this guy.
attention.
I had this guy one time. I didn't recommend anything to him. He just told me about this story about how he was trying to get into anime. And he picked 3 animes to start with. You know.
Mhm.
And his choice was Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Now understand, you have to be a certain kind of anime veteran to pull some shit like that off. Because the sheer amount of content in which you are now
So,
obligated.
March Comes in Like
To
a Lion
watch
is another
is
anime that will
staggering.
make you feel several emotions.
Any
Oh,
one of
yes.
those, any one of those can make you go, who had the time in life to do this?
Was that a movie? I think it was. My wife said about it on March Comes In Like a Lion. I think that was a movie. Movies are good, people. Oh, that's a good bringing up point. Movies are great intros to anime because they're just one solid story. There is no like series. There's no prequels. There's no continuations. It's just one and done. You can sit them down for an hour and 20 or maybe hour and 40 if they're real long, and you be over and they're hooked. And it's so easy to choose movies.
Unless you fuck up and give them that movie that is exactly that long, but when it ends with that, hey, there might be another one, and there never is one. Because they're pissed. They're like, motherfucker, you got me into this. There's nothing else? What?
Yeah, my wife, every time we watch Howl Moving Castle, she's like, damn it, I want to see what happens next. I want to see what's going on. Right away, she's like, did she ever go back?
Way.
Did they ever find the dragon?
Mononoke. I would love Princess Mononoke to had another volume.
Uh-huh.
Love it. No, hell no. We're done. I'm like, come on, studio, really?
Like, let's get pick a second part. Like, Totoro. Like, does the kids keep on staying there? Does Totoro ever come back? What about the school
They
bus?
don't even, what the fuck? I mean, I want to see if Calcifer redeems himself fully.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's like, yeah, movies are easy ones. That's why I thought I did the Violent Evergreen movie. I'm going, wait, I forgot there's an actual anime series. I'm like, wait, movies are good, movies are easy. And I forgot, oh yeah, there's actually a backstory to this broad. Oh, great, okay, but that was my mistake. But I think there is some animes out there, like I think my mom, if my mom ever watched this, Apothecary Diary is a good one. Just promise you gotta watch the full series. But by the time you watch 4 series, you gotta go, oh wait, you gotta wait for season 2? Yep. Well, not in Apothecary Diary, now the season 2 already out, but now you gotta wait for season 3. So it's like, dang it, you just got to a good part. They were just about to kiss and then something happened. You know, that kind of thing. Just like, oh, they're about to finally get the kill, you son of a... So like, that's how anime is. It's like live actions. I don't know if they just make it easier to broadcast, or they just do it that many years in advance. But Jesus, sometimes season 2 in anime takes
Demon Slayer
years.
always slaps.
Oh yeah. By the way,
Yeah, Demon Slayer always slaps. Absolutely.
yes.
I even brought that up to that person, saying, I know that technically it might not fall into your horror realm or whatever, but the pure beauty in the animation for this may be just enough to pull you in.
Oh yeah. It's eye candy. That okay. It does have some like, you know, some psychological processes to the show, but if you just want pure eye candy, and some people hate it because it's pure, it is a lot of eye candy. Demon Slayer is that show. It is a gorgeous piece of artwork. I call it art because it has a lot of shinies and oohs and ahs, and that was sick moments. Not just like, oh, that was really, really, really well thought out and really like complicated and puzzle piecing, and no, it was just, wow, that was a cool fight. Turn off your brain, just let your shit go.
How he decapitated that guy. Did you see how elegantly it floated away as his Hashira powers hit him? Oh
Okay,
my god!
Okay, real quick though, we just did Demon Slayer this past week. It was a great time. The theater experience was bad, but the movie was great. Again,
Said,
another place saying there was
it has gore
IMAX.
and
It was
demons,
not
but
IMAX.
also beauty in it in different forms.
Yeah. But yeah, it was not IMAX. But great movie. Now we're gonna wait for another 2 years or so before the next one came out, and then 2 years after that, I'm gonna be literally in my 40s when the last one comes out. Great. But you're gonna be in your 50s. So, yeah, I'm going to say it, damn it.
You damn right.
But this past week, and I don't know how we're gonna quickly kind of brush over this and get your thoughts on it. The movie's rated R. Somebody decided to take their kid to the movie. I don't quite know how I feel about that, right? Because the movie is rated R. They brought their daughter, and somebody went into the movie theater drunk and decided to relieve themselves in a hairspray manner and splashed on several people, including the kid. Dad got up and beat his ass.
So first off, this is how I feel with that, with the R rating shit. Okay, you know your kids.
Yeah.
Like I would have no problem with my oldest. Okay.
Yeah.
At all. That is a maturity thing that you've got to be responsible for. But that other shit that you just said, that's ass whooping. That's not whipping. That's a whooping. Like I'm taking you behind the barn with a fucking stick and I'm beating the shit out of you.
Well, okay.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, tell her. So I'm gonna go into more details here.
Oh.
So,
you heard what he said? You know what he's talking about? At the movie?
Demon Slayer showing that somebody was peeing on people.
Yeah. So the moment he got his ass beat was the exact moment where the lightning boy, I forget his name, Zenitsu, was doing his lightning moves on the screen in the background. He was saying his forms of breathing. Dude was wailing on his face. I mean, super quick. And people were making a joke. I'm like, that was cinema because he did it at the perfect time to whoop his ass and doing some fast Hail Marys.
That was doing his daddy breathing technique. Oh my!
I mean, the dude would go. I mean, you watch the video. The dude was Hail Marying fast in those hands. Oh my god, that's great timing for whooping his ass. But yeah, you got arrested. You got pulled out. Don't know why you would go to a movie theater drunk. Don't really know I can't see a movie unless I'm drunk kind of situation. Or if it was a theater that served alcohol. I'm not too sure either, but still, why would you be so drunk that you decide to just go, just see what happens, kind of spraying. But yeah, he did, and he got his ass beat, or he had a sick twist off on it. But movie was great though. We're probably actually gonna see it again, honestly, because we want. Yeah. It was great.
We want to go see it too. Yeah, we haven't went and seen it yet, but you know why? Because I am putting them pennies in a pocket, baby.
Yeah. Well, if you see when you go to your theater or y'all's university and they're selling the Infinity Castle popcorn buckets or the Sword Hashira sword cups, let me know. Okay. So just this, because ours didn't have them. They were gone. So yeah. That sucked, but anyways, okay. Next topic's a little bit more of a mind thought here. Mind practice or maybe it's awakening. So this past week I saw a video of a man talking about why we play video games. And more of a psychological, not for the story. And I want to get your thoughts on it, and maybe if you figure you can tell me why. Why is it we literally play video games and why so many people are stuck in video games? His explanation, and I kind of agree with him. is because we feel accomplished in video games. Does that make sense? We feel like we're achieving things that our normal lives that we notice that we are not achieving, and we feel appreciated in the gaming community when we accomplish things and make something of ourselves, whether it be competitive or single player.
I would say to a degree, I agree with that. To a degree.
Okay.
I do know that when I'm playing a game and I'm making good progress and I feel like I'm doing things, I feel like I'm accomplishing things. It is a feeling of accomplishment. So I will agree to a degree with that. But I also think there's a little bit of that, just like with any source of media, it's more about escape. You're escaping what is reality for you.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can't get up in the morning, get dressed, pick up a shield and a sword, walk outside, and just go ham on random monsters. I can't do that because that shit's not real, right?
Yes.
However, my day-to-day life is going to work, dealing with
Stupidity.
idiotic things,
Mm-hmm.
putting out fires per se, that other people have created, and that's what I do all day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I come home, and then I have the adulting life, and everybody here knows I love my family, I love my boys, I love my wife, I love my friends. But we all know that adulting can wear you down someday.
Yes.
When you've had to sit there and had a day where you've had to think about finances, you had to think about planning, you had to think about logistics on how to get places. All that adulting wears on you. Guess what you don't have to do in a video game to the degree that you do in life? I mean, when you're playing a game, especially if it's an RPG, online or whatever, where there's a community involved, yes, you do have to plan. You do have to coordinate things. But in that setting, if the shit doesn't work, you get to try again.
Yes.
You have a little bit of breathing room. In real life, usually, if that shit don't work, there ain't a second time. You have now become fucked,
Uh-huh.
you know? So I believe it's a combination of feeling accomplished, like he said, feeling the freedom of being away from the normal everyday grind of work. And I also feel like it's a way of connecting with people and building a community of people that you trust, you love, you hang out with, that you wouldn't normally otherwise have done. So I think it does. I think it's more than just that, if you understand what I'm saying. So, for example, I would consider us really good friends at this point.
Yes. Even though
But
Stealthy needs to hang out with me more often too, damn it.
Right. But how did that friendship start? It started because one of the two of us dropped in your channel because you were playing a game, right?
Yes.
So there comes that building part of the community. And otherwise, if that hadn't happened, chances are we wouldn't know each other.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are realizing they can find people with similar interests and connect with them, build a community, people they can depend on, because you might not be right next door, but if I needed to talk to somebody about shit and Stealthy wasn't around, I could call you. I know I could.
Mm-hmm.
You know that if some shit's going down with you and you need to talk or ask advice or whatever, you could call me. We know that. We also know if we lived closer, we'd probably do a shitload more things together because we would be close enough to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But the point is that you get community, you get stress relief from the everyday life, and you feel like you accomplish stuff. That's all things that, albeit it's in a virtual realm, help you stay mentally healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with this person to a degree, but I think that there
It's
is
not the full
more
picture.
layers to it than just that.
Yeah, it's not the full picture. But he was saying it on the grounds as of like, don't let video games and only be the only a sense of your accomplishments in life. Like, don't let video games be that where you feel like you can only be accomplished at. And you know, for people always wondering, like, you know, for me, I don't think I'm a successful person to no degrees. I have not fully accomplished pretty much anything in a lot of my life, and I know that, and it does bother me some, right? Like, I haven't got accomplished many things, but when I play video games and I achieve something, it does feel good. But like, is that a good of addiction or good as of a sense of reality? Like, I had something to show for myself, as if I had something to pass on. You can't pass on a video game.
Well,
Those achievements are one and done.
I don't know. That kind of depends, because I'm gonna give you a different viewpoint on that, right?
Mm.
Because that's what you have me here for.
Yes, always give me the devil's advocate. Well,
here's the thing. You say you can't take that achievement forward with a video game, but I disagree with that.
okay.
And here's why. If I played an extremely difficult video game and made X amount of achievement, and I told you, hey man, check this out, I did this.
Mm-hmm.
You would be like,
That's
shit,
cool.
you did great. Well, that's still an achievement. Now there's another person that recognizes that achievement. It doesn't have to be everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is that one person that knows what you were working on, recognizes the difficulty, and says, hey man, that was great, for it to become a real achievement, not just in your mind, but in life. You achieved something. Your friend said, damn dude, you did great.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like I was
So for me,
it would have been like, I was almost diamond in Overwatch. I was 1 point away.
right.
That was an achievement for me, but very few people remember that. I was actually during Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, or I want to say it was 1. I was actually number 5 in the United States at a period of time. Not many people knew about me because I was literally playing on my wife's friend's husband's account. I got his account
Right.
up number 5 by myself because he was like, I was going on the weekends and I would just rank his account up. But no one knew about that. No one knew who I was. They just knew I was just some random
Right.
snow online just whooping everybody's ass with a controller. But like,
Right.
that was years ago. I'll never be known and famous for those things. And like, that's why like, some people like, well,
Right.
like, don't waste your mind on things like that that can't really push you forward.
But here's the thing. Does it have to be wide known to be considered an achievement? Or let's say I went and I tackled a game and I got one of the most rare items in that game. Now, 90% of the people playing that game don't know who the fuck I am. They don't give a shit. They ain't gonna care. That achievement don't mean shit to them. But let's say you, as a friend of mine, you're playing that game too. You know what I did.
Yeah.
Well, that achievement becomes real because you know what I must have had to done to get that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It doesn't take fame for it to be a real achievement. It just takes someone to recognize the work you put in
Yeah.
for it to be a real achievement. So, like, for example, when we were doing our gaming league, you remember we used to do that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? There was a reason why me and Stealthy sat where we sat in the polls. Because Stealthy can play the hell out of some Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay? And everybody wanted to take on her when it comes to Zelda because she was the one to beat. Me, I sat at the tippy top when it come to shit like God of War and Dishonored and shit like that, Final Fantasies. I sat at the tippy top. So everybody wanted to go at me for that. The point is all those people knew that if I was there, I had to do something to get there, right?
Yeah.
Everybody online didn't know it, but those few people that were in that group, they knew, hey, if you really want to call yourself the shit, you got to get past him. Or you got to get past her. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen a lot of people play. A lot of people play. But there is no way in hell I would go head to head with you in a Halo at all. Fuck that shit.
Mm.
I wouldn't do it. Because you can do your shit, boy. You can. I've seen you do it. I've sat in your house while you did it. Although we don't let Jasmine or Stealthy have the controller anymore because we fucking dying and she like comes in, plays one time, gets in this close to death, and like, fucking give me the keyboard back.
So, yeah, I think...
Stealthy's a little bit of a savant, though.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we a little bit.
So, but yeah, I just think just like it was a good message. He maybe went further on into details. It was a short clip, right? It wasn't a full video about telling of it. He might have went on to and like, you know, be proud of your achievements that you have done and maybe focus in more on those around you than the rest of the world, right? That might have been the broader message. But the message was just like don't let the video games be your only achievement and don't fixate on that. You are worth something in life.
No,
you aren't worthless.
I agree with that. Like, I feel like if we took video games aside, if we're talking about you, I feel like you've achieved more than you think you have. You may not realize it, but I feel like you have.
Yeah.
Okay. You might have had some help in some places, but overall, at the end of the day, you had to work your ass off to get certain things. Like, that house didn't just fall in your lap. You might have had a little help, but you had to go find it. You had to go through all the work to get it. You know, you did all of that. You did. That's an accomplishment for you and yours. You accomplished, hell, I don't know how many people would not be able to pull off what you do with your pet family. Okay?
You just had a house and home.
you take really good care of that pet family. And it's an extensive one.
Yeah.
But I give you props. There's not a lot of people that can pull that off. Okay? I'm just saying, you do things. I don't know many people that can sit there and do some of the other things you do too. Like figure out how to put soundboard in the back of wall scrolls, or how I'm gonna reorganize this shelving unit in a way that it wasn't even intended to be used so that it fits my purposes. All those things are little accomplishments, dude. Every one of them.
Yeah, they're just not on the grand scale. But yeah, that's a personal growth of mine. But yeah, I would like, you know, for me, I had to self-learn how to make GIFs, how to do animations. I'm not the best at it, but I still learn how to do it and make my own animations and my own alerts for my channel. And juggling 4 channels at one time and learning how to do a complete stream setup, not just turning on the camera and the mic and saying go live. Though when I first started streaming, did you know this? When I first started streaming, I was playing Overwatch 1, and I didn't even know about categories or chat. I just literally turned on my camera, turned on my game, and started streaming on a very low budget computer. And now you couldn't ask me a question that I don't know the answer to when it comes to streaming. I've done it almost everything, and you well know I keep on increasing in my development of my stream. No matter what, I'm always improving in some way, but does not mean it's noticeable.
Yeah, well, it's like, but I hate to tell y'all, spoiler alert, school don't prepare you for the shit that I do. At all. Not one damn bit. Being an IT person in a office versus an IT person at a manufacturing facility, 2 totally different fucking animals. Okay? Totally different. But then if you go and throw an office in with a manufacturing facility, that's a fucking beast.
Okay.
Okay?
Quick rant. I know this is don't jump off the topic here, but I've watched so many videos this past week about people like disrespecting your kind of work and saying it's not a real job, it's not real money, you're not like super wealthy because of it, and like people, I'm gonna say people, but certain people getting divorced or breaking up relationships because because of your line of work. I've listened to so many stories. It is so stupid. Y'all have no idea how much money this man makes. This man makes fucking good money. Money I wish I could make. And people disrespect your line of work, and I'm just going, y'all fucking stupid. I know how much money you make. It's not a small sum.
He's doing a defensive rant because he's seen a bunch of people online talking shit about like my line of work, and he was like, "You motherfuckers do not understand."
Have question close to that. So help you out. What do they think the job entitled? And if so, why not ask what it actually entitles?
So
Because it depends on what they think it is. Because if they think it's just looking at software, it's a different type of fatigue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to know what he actually does in his case versus what usually people do in his job.
yes,
Yeah.
because I can promise you,
Like,
what I do versus what they say people in my position do is drastically different. And I'm telling you, nowhere in my education did it prepare me for going to a plant floor, crawling under a piece of industrial PC portion or networking portion of this device to then tear it apart and repair it or manually load software or troubleshoot. None of that shit was covered in the classroom. Okay, none of it. Now, I will say this. I did have an added benefit because of life experience. I had many people in my family work in industrial environments as heads of maintenance in industrial environments. So I understand how a gearbox works. I understand how certain industrial pieces of equipment works. I can weld, understand all that shit. So when I look at it, I know where I should be and where I shouldn't be. And I know what I need to get there and what I don't. But that shit wasn't taught to me education-wise.
Yeah. And
Just like when you sit up there and you're working on a computer right there in front of you. They put it in front of you. You have to take it apart. You have to replace a motherboard. Or you have to replace a graphics card. You have to replace RAM. You have to change a processor. Okay, the general idea is generally the same as education. However, what they don't tell you is in that environment, every so many years, the platform you're working on changes. And while it still has all those components, they are now in different locations, using different sockets, different latching mechanisms. They don't teach you that shit. Yeah. That's some shit you got to figure out yourself.
And bio updates, troubleshooting different software.
Software changes so much.
Yeah,
so much.
Point in case, this past week, my wife's all their computers had to be updated to a computer that could do Windows 11, and they had to swap out the old computers with new ones. Guess who had to go up there and help them with that? Because they had no local IP guy to do it. And I got there, I did everything. I got the computers going, got the updates going, but when it came to the card reader, I didn't know they changed the card reader for the program at all. So guess who couldn't do that? I did it for free. I'm like, if they just hired somebody locally, we could do that. But you got no one locally. Yep. It's all off base, offline, and they couldn't get them for another 5 hours.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm right here right now.
Which is why at my manufacturing facility / office, in case you guys didn't know, I service 2 different offices, a local and corporate office, and 2 different manufacturing facilities, all by myself. That's me. I'm it. Hi, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why there is a person on site that is paid for by our company, me, on the payroll, because they can't afford to, hi, this service is down right now. Oh, well, we can get somebody to you in 24 to 48 hours. No, fuck, you can't, bitch. I'm losing millions of dollars right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, you also like the person that they program the programs at your job. You need the person
in some instances, yes.
So you need somebody who knows how to fix code if code goes bad for wonky reasons, unknown reasons.
I mean, we have multiple people. Depending on how severe it is, if it's a basic thing, I can usually handle it. Now, we do have a guy there, and I'm going to tell you, I've met no one better ever in my life. But we have a guy there that I've known for 13 going on 14 years now. If he looks at that shit and he looks at the database or he looks at the source code or he looks at anything and he says, I don't fucking know, at that point you are now fucked. Because nobody in at least 3 states that I know can do what this man does. He has 7 monitors in his office. Okay? That's how many databases, that's how many web apps, that's how many pages, that's how many data sets, that he is looking at a given moment. And can tell you everything going on in every one of those locations. And the moment a little red flicker happens on the screen, he's already shifted. He's fixing that shit.
That is
so
wild. 7 screens.
This guy is absolutely amazing. I love him to death. He was hired about a year after I was.
Yeah.
To be in the data department area. And he's fucking crazy good.
See, the problem is like his achievements are only known at your job. And only known at your job. And that's the was going back to the kind of roll back here. It's like you achievements that only people around him know about, but no one else would know about it.
Yeah.
But like that
it's like
that's impressive.
That's like nobody outside of my work knows what I did with that room. Nobody knows. But I do. I know what that shit looked like 2 years ago.
Yeah. People that were making fun of the IT people was like, oh yeah, all they do is just sit in front of the computer and type on a screen, and that's what they all do all day. I'm like,
I wish all I did was sit at my fucking computer.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm shipping shit. I am fixing shit on the plant floor. I am moving equipment. I am managing people coming in to do jobs, which by the way, I have someone coming to do something this weekend. I am the network for everybody else. If the network team decides that they need something done at my site, my network team is usually either at another site doing some network upgrades or something required, or they are working from home because that's what they could do. They work on the network, right?
Yeah.
But say something physically has to be touched at my site. Who the hell you think that? Casey. Corvo. I need you to go over here, look at this switch, check.
Appreciate that.
Tell me what kind of activity we've got going on, you know, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one that does that. And then if something has to happen physically at the location because they can't get to it remotely, I'm down there with my laptop.
Plug up your computer to some other thing. Plug into a CNC machine. Make sure to program on that. Do you do anything with CNC machines? Just a quick question.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
You know,
I used to do. We have a Kingsbury drill, CNC machine, and it drills all the head plates and tube slide plates. I blow their mind sometimes when I go down there because I'll go down there to work on one thing and the guy will be bitching about the program like, hey, I can't figure out why it's not, the coordinates are off here, and I'll walk over and be like, try doing this, and how do you know that? Bitch, I 3D print.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. The only difference is 3D print is putting material out while a drill is removing material. But the basics of the program is the fucking same.
Yeah, like I would have to manually do the X and Y when I was working on CNC machines and changing the tooling in different slots of every CNC machine, and then checking the thickness of the metal to make sure the certain pressure of the tool when it came down. I did all that kind of stuff. I'm like, damn, this stuff is simple. How does people say this hard? But But that was a different type. We were working on flat
Now-
sheets of metal and removing
Now,
metal
I'm
from
fixing
it.
to blow your mind. I'm fixing to blow your mind.
Mm.
Our CNC machine still uses a DOS-based program to run.
Okay.
Guess what? Nobody else in my department can do.
Work the doll.
They can't do DOS.
Oh, DOS.
Because their education, much like mine, didn't cover DOS.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I know DOS is because I've been fucking with computers since before there was an actual hard drive in the PC with an OS on it.
Yeah, it's
I had the big floppies, baby. Them big boys, you had to stick in and click the lever down for anything to even show up. And then you had root commands like, set disk, blah, 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 run executable, blah, 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 just to get the shit up and running.
Brackets,
Oh,
quotations.
wait. It's skipping somewhere in the data package. Okay, let me lower the baud rate a little bit. Dude, people don't even know what a fucking baud rate is.
See, promise, I
But
know
yeah.
what a baud rate is. I just wouldn't, if you was like, hey, nah, dude, I'm like, I don't remember how to do it. I just know what it is. I just don't know how to fucking do it anymore.
We had a problem one time with the CNC where it was transmitting the program from the computer to the machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was dropping packets in the process, so it wouldn't get a complete program to run. And then the machine's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So it's
So I
skipping.
went down there. Went into the program, the DOS-based program, and dialed the baud back a little bit so it wouldn't be transmitting so fast.
Yeah, okay.
And lo and behold, we stopped dropping packets and shit started working.
So
And
somebody
the guy
increased
that
the
had been
speed.
running, no, it was a firmware update on the actual drill
Okay.
had happened.
All right.
And the guy that had been running this machine for 20 years looked at me and said, I've been running this machine for 20 years and have no fucking clue what you just did. And I was like, that's why I'm here.
I had somebody like increase the speed on the CNC machine before, and it literally would skip certain holes, thinking that they already hit the hole. Like, no, it didn't hit the hole. Like here it goes, nothing. It just keep on going. Like it's supposed to stop right there, pop,
The reason
and then go to the next one. Slow
And the
that
reason
shit
it did that is because it dropped the packet in the program that told it to do that hole. So it thought there was no hole there, and it moved on because the baud rate was too high on the transmission. Dial that shit back, all those packets get there, it'll stop skipping that hole.
Yeah. And I was like, it was a bad day because we had to like run the entire pallet all over again because I missed that hole. I'm like, I ran it. You increased the speed. I didn't tell you to increase the speed. Who told you to increase the speed? Dumb on them. Now we gotta run the entire pallet again, and we have to manually put all those holes in. Yay! No! Because we also had an inspector too, so he had to check off on it. And of course, he got really pissed off because I know that hole was hitting it at one time, and then it stopped hitting. It's like, and of course, tools breaks too, but like that happens.
Yeah.
Rarely, but it does happen.
Nothing you knew about that though. I mean, where is where? You know.
Okay, so the last bit of topic we had here, and people get in the conversation. This might be a little bit of a hot topic, but or a controversial topic, depends on how you look at it. So this past week, Stealthy informed us at university, a place that we all enjoyed. I really hope something in life allows us to go back sometime. Go to the other theme parks, especially. But this past week, a paraplegic, right? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
A paraplegic passed away after an incident at university. And I say incident.
Yeah, Universal. Yeah.
Yeah. I say incident is one of the new rides. Now, the new rides were safety checked. They were test run a number of times with no problem. But this ride is new. And a paraplegic that didn't have control of their legs, got on the ride, and passed out during the ride. Question is, what was his reason for passing out? Now, Corvo and Stealthy have some inclinations. I'll give mine first real quick. And I don't know if this is real, right? I just know my dad is technically was born without from his knees down to his feet. Gone. Never had him. Born like that. But he was a very upper body built dude. I mean, the dude, he grew up pretty much walking on his hands. The famous clip of mine of my dad running me down one time on his knuckles. You go watch that clip on my YouTube channel if you want to, get the full story of that. But he was not a small guy from what he had. But promise, I know that doesn't always allow for your heart to be pumping at the correct rate, because your heart is pumping for the entire body. And if your heart's not pumping for your entire body, because you don't got access to it or there's nothing there, it could make your heart go a little bit more pitter-patter than it used to. And it could be because it wasn't flowing right during the pressure of the roller coaster, flinging him around in different ways, maybe. Or possibility of something like somebody had something in a pocket, came down and just nailed him and knocked him out cold. That's what my thoughts are. What is your thoughts on what could have been it?
Oh, I'm thinking a couple different things. I won't say it's impossible for somebody to have snuck something on the ride and it come out, but I will say it is highly unlikely in my opinion, because I know the kind of security that they have at this ride. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to go through metal detectors. You're going to be wanded. They're going to double check you long before you ever get to the ride. They make you put everything in a locker before you get to that point.
Yeah, I remember all that.
So the chances are slim, not impossible, but slim that something flew out of someone's pocket.
Yeah.
What I think happened is, albeit him being a very strong and robust man in his upper body, I think somewhere in the ride the G-forces took effect. Mm. And because he didn't have all the normal means that someone would have to stabilize himself, he passed out.
Yeah. And
I think the resulting injuries are from his unconsciousness during the rest of the ride.
Yeah. From the flailing.
That would be my assumption at this point. Now, this is not 100% proven, guys. I could be completely wrong. I may not know shit about what actually happened. I'm just being honest. But based on what I've been able to read and I've heard reported, I would say that, in my opinion, that's what I think happened.
Yeah, because I remember riding a ride, and I don't remember which one. Even I smacked the side of the big old chest things, and it didn't knock me out, but it didn't feel good. And if you already had some head trauma, and maybe in the past, that could have maybe you had some past head trauma, you hit it a little too hard, maybe reconnected that little trauma, and he just went with it.
And it could be, I don't know what kind of health he was in, if he happened to have high blood pressure or something and his blood pressure spiked while he was on the ride. That could have made him pass out. It could have been just the pure G's that were pulled in some of the turns or loops or something. Or something fell, I don't know. But I would say the chances of someone else having a device come out and hit him while riding the ride is probably lowest on my total. Mm-hmm. I am more likely to believe that some other force, whether it be G's or a health condition or anything, all of those to me are more plausible than that.
Yeah. Now I don't remember there being stairways on any of the rides. I remember most of it was always a slow incline or path to get to the ride.
Except for Red Ride Rocket, there was a lot of freaking steps to that.
There's stairs that one. So I was like, okay, easy wheelchair access for a lot of the rides there. But my mind, if I would have saw the gentleman and I was working there, I don't know if you would get fired for saying you cannot come on here because of healthy reasons. And then you would. But I would have been if I was that person, I would have been really afraid of like, oh my God, I just got that man killed because I said, sure, get on.
Well, the thing is that is, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. Okay, I have no opinion about what I'm about to tell you, but there is a real reason why all the way up those rides there are placards posted saying, if you're suffering from this kind of health condition, you might be possibly this, you might be this. Please do not ride this ride.
Yeah,
those are all warnings.
Yeah.
Those are all warnings. The reason those placards are there is technically as a service to people, those rides were built. So they're not supposed to turn anyone away from the ride that really wants to ride the ride unless
they're accepting of that risk.
Because they're accepting that risk themselves. Okay, they assumed that risk once they got to the point they were physically getting on the ride. So from that standpoint, that is the company covering themselves, saying, hey, if you have a heart condition but you get on this ride anyway. It was posted like 12 friggin' times on the way up here. Where, that's a you thing, not a me
videos.
thing.
They also have videos
and videos. So that's what that's there for. Now, I'm not saying that it's right that you don't have certain criteria, I'm not saying it's wrong to not have certain criteria. I'll give you an example. We were at a theme park one time, and a very robustly built patron went all the way through the lines, even after seeing the test seat outside, because you've seen it, they've had test seats outside so you can check to see if you fit.
Yeah.
Went on the ride, went to get on the ride, and they could not deny her the opportunity to get on the ride. However, once it was deemed that she could not fit, there was an actual reason she couldn't ride, then they're allowed to say, ma'am, I'm sorry, you can't ride. But if the person meets the height requirement, weight requirement, and will fit in that seat and can be restrained per the restraints, they can't say no.
Yeah.
Okay? Because even if you have an underlying health condition or something, you're accepting that risk. Yeah. Because you've seen all the placards. So that's why they probably, I would assume that's why they didn't tell the gentleman, I'm sorry, sir, I don't think you should ride this ride. I'm assuming he's seen all those placards going up there. I'm assuming he chose to get on there. We don't know. There's a chance he may have ridden it before, he may not have. We don't know this.
Yeah.
Or similar rides to it. And they said, okay, he assumed the risk, and they helped him onto the ride. That is what they're there to do. So,
I
don't.
I would have felt bad if that was me in that situation. I'm like, I could have said no. I could have said no.
And I'm sure whoever it was that helped him into that ride feels like that. I'm sure they do. If they're any kind of decent human being, they definitely do. But at the same time, you have to remember that he chose to ride that ride. That was a choice of his. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty? Absolutely. You're going to feel guilty. There's nothing you can do about it because you're going to feel like you could have said something. However, you're not allowed to per rules. You did what you were supposed to do. He assumed that risk. At the end of the day, bar it being like a piece of something flying off the ride itself, causing the incident, it's no one's fault. It's a terrible accident that happened. It's terrible for his loved ones. It's terrible, period. And everybody's going to feel certain amounts of regret for letting it happen.
Yeah. I did see the picture stuff they sent me of the gentleman. I'm not going to comment on his, how worded it, his body. I'm not going to comment on the way he looks. I'm just going to say that from what I could see, there could be some health problems. Could be some health problems.
Yeah.
And
also,
there's no
also
telling.
you can see he had some hellacious arms on him, though.
Yeah, dude had some big boy arms. He probably was, if he could walk, he probably would be pretty tall. Because those arms are long. So
And they're big.
So he had to been fully aware of his limitations, but he made the best of it. But he looked happy. He looked like he was having some fun. So I don't know about you. I wouldn't want to go that way. But if I was having fun and having a blast all the way up to the time of my passing, I would probably accept that. If I was having a lot of a good time, good memories with my family and friends, laughing, making jokes, going around, doing things that I normally wouldn't be able to do every day, and that was going to be my last day, I'm taking it on the chin. I'm going, that was worth it. Worth. Just going to say it, worth. So yeah,
I'll tell you what, in the words of a friend that I knew one time, he said the doctor diagnosed him with cancer, told him that you have X amount of time to live. And he told the doctor, he said, I guess I best get to doing all the fun and crazy shit I can possibly do, because when I go out, I want to be smiling.
Yeah, very much so. So, you know, in some way, I actually feel like he would be happy. I don't know. I'm speculating here. I just feel like he would have been happy. Like, it would suck going that way, but just if I would have passed away during the time in Orlando, I would have been okay with it because I was having fun, a lot of it. So I would have been grateful for that. Doesn't mean I would want to go. Just if it had been my time, let it be.
Right. Nobody asked to go, but I mean, if you gotta go, might as well go while you're doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we will be doing DD tonight. So those who are wondering where we are, we're a little bit over time, but it's all right. We're doing DD at this. Give us within the hour, as per usual. If you want to watch us playing D&D, I am still working because I didn't know how much footage we have, and that's just that one spin-off. Getting all the footage and putting it together, and then syncing everybody's lips up because certain videos didn't have audio and certain other videos did have audio. So it's like, oh great, now I gotta get two videos and overlap them. And anyways, but yeah, I hope that other campaign would Grok and everybody else. This is another spin-off until Corvo gets the book from last week's spin-off, so we can finish doing that. But tonight, I'm bringing back the good boy. I'm bringing him back tonight. So hope you're ready for our special boy coming back. Our Mute's lovable bear.
Hey, he knows some words. He knows some words. He was taught some.
Gold! Kill her! Yeah, that's a boy. So if you
Squish.
Squish. So you want to have fun with that, be joining us here within the hour. We're going to be doing another spin-off of D&D, so I hope you're here to have some fun. I hope you all, those who are chilling, I see people in the Twitch channel, see people in the YouTube channel, stay here the entire time. Freaking awesome. Thank y'all, guys. I would hope y'all hit the like button already. If you've been here this long, go hit the like button. Leave a comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and any topics that are not political or otherwise, topic for next week, let us know. We'll talk about it, as long as it's not going to get us in trouble. As always, have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all.
Bye, guys.